Welcome as we learn to evaluate products of two functions using integration by parts. So in our previous lesson, if you have not seen that video yet, kindly find the link to that video in the description. So we earlier made mention that for integration by parts, we want to write our integral u dv to be equal to uv minus the integral v du. So we want to write our functions, one as u and one as dv. And we did establish that we can choose u from this acronym, any that comes first. Okay, so if I have a combination of these functions, any of this that comes first becomes what? My u. So we first want to look at our first example. So for our first example, we want to evaluate the integral x cubed ln x dx. Okay, so what do? We first need to make what? We need to find u from here and dv from here as well. So if we decide to use this, you realize that log our ln comes first before what? This algebraic function. So I can choose let u to be equal to what? Ln x. Then I choose dv as well. So dv is equal to my what? S cube. S cube. But don't forget, in the formula, we need to find what? U. We know u. Do we know v? No. And we need to find the u as well. So from here, our du is going to be equal to what? If I integrate this, what do I have? If I differentiate ln of a function, this is going to give me 1 over what? X dx. Then I have dv. So if I want to find v from dv, means I need to integrate dv. So my v is going to be the integral of what? Dv, which is what? S cubed dx. And this is going to be what? X to the power 4 divided by what? 4. So now I know what u is, I know v, and I know the u. So this implies that this function integral s cubed ln x dx is what? My uv minus integral of what? V du. What is u? U is what? Ln x. And our v is what? X to the power 4 divided by what? 4. Minus our integral. V is what? X to the power what? 4 divided by what? 4. And the u is 1 over x dx. So you simplify, and what do I have? You realize I have x to the power 4 divided by 4. Let me write it this way. Ln of x minus, I can bring my constant out so that I have what? Minus, so this is minus 1 over 4 integral of, so this cancels that, so I have 3, so I have 3 cube the x. Okay, let's simplify. So we continue to simplify here. And this is going to give us, so this is going to give us x to the power 4 divided by 4 ln x minus 1 over 4. If you integrate this, what do I have? I have x to the power 3 plus 1, which is 4, so divided by 4, plus my constant c. Okay, so this gives me what? X to the power 4 divided by 4 ln of what? X minus what? This is going to 4 times 4, 16, 1 over 16 x to the power, this is our c. So x to the power 4, 16 plus c. So this is what my final answer for the integration was given. The final answer for the integration was given. Let's take another example, which may seem a little complicated, but not so. Like I said, choosing your u is very, very important. So I have the integral sine x ln of what? Cos x dx. Okay, so let's choose u. So let's look at our layout, which says that if I have, so you realize that I have a trig function and I have a logarithm function as well. So which comes first? Let's look at it. Which comes first? So logarithm comes first before what? Our trig function. So it means that I can make u, so I can make my u so let me make my u to be, so I want to make u to be equal to ln of what? Cos x. Then my v, my dv is going to be equal to sine x. If you had exchange, I mean, don't you think this was going to be difficult integrating? Yes, but this looks what? Easier to do. So I can find the u here. The u is going to be what? Lane says that differentiates what you have here. So if I differentiate cos, what do I get? This is going to give me 1 over cos x minus sine x. And this is going to be equal to this is going to be the x. Let me not forget to bring my x. This is going to be sine over cos is time. So I'm going to have I'm going to have minus tan x dx, and v is going to be what? The integral of this, so integral of sine x dx, and this is going to be, if I integrate sine, what do I get? Minus cos what? X from here. So now let's substitute. So if I substitute, I have my integral sine x ln of what? Cos x dx is going to be your uv minus, so this is my u, minus integral of what? V du. What is u? U is ln of cos x. Then what is v? V is what? Minus cos x minus integral of what? V is minus cos x du, and du is what? 1 over cos x minus what? Sine x. Alright, okay. So from here, you realize that this can cancel that, negative is going to be positive. So I'm going to have, let me write this as minus cos s ln of what? Cos x minus integral sine x. Don't forget I have the x here, sine x dx. So now I can simplify this. So if I simplify, what do I have? I have minus cos x ln of what? Cos x minus, if I integrate sine, I get minus what? Cos x. So it becomes then positive here, cos x plus my constant c. So this becomes what? My final what? Result. Like I said, the most important is choosing what? Your u and your dv wisely to make it easier to go through your evaluation. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe. Stay safe.